Blame Truth here. And guys, over the years, I have essentially been a prophet, a soothsayer, if you will, as it pertains to Call of Duty and what they are going to do, how they're going to fuck over the player base, yada yada. And yet, somehow, I did not see this coming. And by this, I mean how manipulated everything has gotten. It finally clicked today where we are actually at. And I've been around so long. You'll have to trust me that it was not like this back in the day. Anyone who's been around as long as I have playing FPS since Call of Duty 4 or around that ballpark, back me up on this in the comments, please. It was never like this. And by this, I mean everyone it has fooled themselves. Everyone has been manipulated. The entire genre, it's rigged. It's rigged, and it's literally mind control at this point. These people are like crack addicts. Mark Twain once said, "It's easier to fool people than to convince them that they've been fooled." If you're watching this video, watch until the end, because I'm going to convince you that you have simply been fooled. And it's about to get a whole lot worse with the next Call of Duty. The trailer's tomorrow. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to get, some shit for it, I'm sure. But I'm going to tell you right now, you are nothing more than a hamster running endlessly on the wheel. Let me explain. When was it? 7 months ago, I did a deep dive on EOMM, Engagement Optimized Matchmaking. If you are new to my channel, maybe you found me with XDefiant, you need to watch this video of mine. It's one of my most viewed videos. It is essential viewing. Watch it directly after this one. I will leave it on the end screen of this video, easily accessible. But, guys, EOMM, what is it? Everyone thinks that SBMM is the thing in first-person shooters now. It's not that. It's EOMM. I covered this in that video, but for the longest time, Call of Duty was essentially a casino. You bought loot boxes, and then you hoped to get something that was essentially pay to win that would help you out. Eventually, they caught so much flack for this, they had to change their methods. They decided to do it under the table and be a lot sneakier with it. And I realized today, while talking about XDefiant on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, that it goes far beyond Call of Duty even. Like, it goes beyond the game. It has infected players' brains. And make no mistake, this is by design from Activision Blizzard. This is by design from Call of Duty. If you're on XDefiant right now, like me, and you enjoy the game, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to Call of Duty. Again, for years, they did loot box stuff to where it was essentially a casino. That's how they got you addicted. They got so much shit for that, they changed their method and made the matchmaking like a casino. Let me kind of explain and summarize before you get to the meat and potato video at the end of this one. But engagement optimized matchmaking works a lot like they essentially will fabricate your wins and losses. Have you ever noticed that when you are on a win streak in Call of Duty, your connection gets worse? The teams stack to a point where you are almost designed to lose. It's gotten so good, the AI has gotten so good that it basically tailors your experience to keep you on the game. And they found with these studies that people winning all the time, that doesn't keep them on the game. It's actually losing quite a bit and then like buying something from the store and then winning. You get this addiction going on. It's like the highs and lows of addiction, literally. And if you think I'm just being a crazy conspiracy theorist like Alex Jones or something, I'm telling you right now, they may not be turning the frogs gay, but they're turning your brain into mush. There are so many players that are speaking this absolute illogical nonsense. And it's because of Call of Duty and what they have done. Let's just get right on into the meat and potatoes here. This might be a longer video. I got a lot I want to get off my chest. First and foremost, let's take a stroll down memory lane back to 2019 when all of this mess started. Call of Duty Modern Warfare has safe spaces. Modern Warfare gameplay slowed down for new players. During a recent interview, Call of Duty Modern Warfare design director of multiplayer Joe Secott confirmed design changes were made to appeal to new players. Infinity Ward wants to try to create a perfect balance where both lower skilled and higher skilled players are having fun and racking up kills. Let me stop right there. That is impossible. It's not logical. That should tell you all you need to know where we're going with this. Many gamers have complained about a plethora of campers in Modern Warfare, and it seems like the team expected an influx of campers with this title. The weapons and maps in this game were designed with new players in mind, as guns are more lethal and people have more nooks to hide in. Let's also cover this though. Why do recent Call of Duty games take so much space to download? This is a popular conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. Look at it from a company point of view, this person answers. You want to make money. If people can spend time on other games, you will make less money. If your game takes up more space, the user has less space for other games, therefore playing your game more and is more likely to spend money. And now let's do a quick rundown of EOMM by a user on Reddit posting about Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2. The algorithm in the game already has an idea of the probability of the outcome of a match before it even begins. The more you play, the more it learns how you play, the weapons you use, your overall playing and spending behavior, and how to better predict a desired result, which is ultimately more playtime and money spent. SBMM is BS. The game is built entirely around EOMM, engagement, optimized matchmaking, and nothing else. Every time you hit start, the game begins its manipulation and machine learning to try to addict you and take your money from you. Fun is not the goal, it is a side effect goal because fun leads to more playtime. If the graph showed depression leads to more spending, then the game would try to cause depression because only money matters, nothing else except money, nothing else. And before you say this isn't in the game, let's consult Mark Rubin. I'm sure you've seen this video by now. He addresses EOMM by name, and this guy worked on the old school Call of Duty games from COD 4 up until Call of Duty Ghosts.
Tell me what it is.
Okay, so skill-based matchmaking, also known as oftenly as SBMM, basically where the game decides that you have a certain skill level after it kind of watches you play for a few matches, and then matches you up with people who are equivalent on your skill level. Now, in the olden days, it was pretty light and didn't really intrude too much into the game. It has become something that is more what they call actually engagement-based matchmaking now, where it sort of is like an AI that's monitoring your behavior and going, okay, this person's getting beaten too many times, and we think they might quit, so we're going to make the game easier for them. And the thing with all that, besides the whole sort of morality of it, is that I think it creates a stale experience, right? Like you keep playing against the same exact people, not the same exact people specifically, but the same exact type of player. You lose out on all the fun variety that I think a lot of the old school shooters had. Like you jump into a match and you can see a guy in there who's just wrecking, right? And he is just absolutely destroying, and you're kind of having fun with it because he's just so good, or she. And then you get into another game where you're the person who's wrecking, right? Like, and that experience, that variety is really what I think is missing in a lot of some of the modern arcade shooters, and I think it's something that we really feel is important to bring back to first-person shooters.
So Mark Rubin all but confirms what I just showed you. And this man worked on the OG COD 4, the OG Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and Call of Duty Ghosts. And if anyone knows what he's talking about as far as how things operate on the inside, it's him. This has been theorized by the community, like, EOMM, SBMM is in Call of Duty, and over the years, we have kind of discovered its presence just by running tests and doing extensive research, and by we, I mean guys like Exclusive Ace and Drifter and what have you. Guys, everything I showed you post-gameplay cut has been Call of Duty's MO since 2019 when they got rid of loot boxes. They aim to get you addicted by making you think you are better than you actually are or worse than you actually are. This is called gaslighting, by the way. They aim to monopolize your console storage space or your PC drive to get you to only play it. You can't install other games. If you want to uninstall Call of Duty, it's such a large download. You'll think twice about doing it. And the algorithm has been broken down to show that it's nothing more than a casino. This is not how gaming should be, and it's rotted the brains of the modern day FPS player. Let me just show you this, and I'm gonna drop an absolute bombshell on you after I just give you some examples of what I am talking about. First and foremost, I never saw this stuff back in the day. Ever. This is just some banter from Twitter. Let's look into it here. Let me know if you see a problem with this. I've been seeing this comment a lot, so I had to retweet it. I mean, I've been seeing this exact phrase so much, and the phrase is, "I'm over XDefiant, it's such a sweat fest." I say, what has happened to gamers? Why don't you want to try to improve at anything anymore? I uploaded a vid today going 2-to-1 KD-wise with an AA-12, that was yesterday's video, while playing the objective. It's not a strong weapon. The game is neither easy nor hard after some time put in to learn and improve. Shadow says this, and it clicked right when he said it. I think the past few years of being punished for improving and getting trashed by solely the meta weapons in a lot of FPS games, COD and Apex, has led people to stop wanting to improve for fear of dealing with even sweatier, more predictable, and more boring lobbies. But it gets worse. Dwayne the Brock Johnson, great name, but stupid opinion here, says this. Yeah, I can improve and get better, but at the same time, I'm not trying to be the best anymore. I just don't want to die to sweats abusing movement and OP weapons. SBMM was made for casuals like me, and I'm surprised they can't just give us a personal toggle for it. Have you ever heard anything so pathetic? I say, you can use the exact same movement and weapons they can. This might be the saddest comment I've ever read. A personal toggle. Good God, man. And he says, you can use the same exact movement and weapons, but I don't want to, and I shouldn't have to. I'm not competing. I just want to jump into a match and shoot people. And separate matchmaking would be great for both types of players. What is this actual brain rot? It gets worse, though. It genuinely gets worse. This guy says, that's the thing they don't get in response to that comment. If I want to compete, I'll go play a real sport. If I'm playing a video game, I expect it to be fun every minute. Otherwise, what the fuck am I doing playing the video game? Shit's lame. I say, I only have fun when I'm winning, but I'm too lazy to put any effort into getting better to win. Pathetic. It's worse than pathetic. It is embarrassing. It gets worse, though. This guy says, no, people want to have fun. Just like how you guys hate playing COD because you always have to face people better than you. Imagine being a lower skilled player next to Defiant. It's the same thing but reverse. But it's not like that at all. I say, we don't hate having to face players better than us. I don't at all. We hate having to face clones of ourselves every single match. We want better competition, as in people better than the clones of ourselves, as it makes us better. We want everyone else in the lobby, they may be lower skilled than us, good and bad, because it adds variety. We also hate manipulation and being punished for improving. You're whining because you don't want to put in the work to improve. Big difference. And the coup de grace, the final thing. Mikey says this, COD has held your hand for years, and now that you're actually required to put your skills to the test, you hate it. Simply don't play online video games anymore. Call of Duty has pussified these people and rotted their brains. They are only having fun when they get their hand held and are getting kills fed to them by an algorithm. It is the most pathetic, miserable thing I personally have ever read. This is literally the Matrix. Red pill or blue pill. Blue pill, you get fooled into thinking you are good at FPS. Red pill, you play XDefiant and realize that these are all the people SBMM has been protecting you from for 5 years now. So I am uploading this gameplay, and I don't usually upload losses, but I'm uploading it because I had fun. Like Mark Rubin said, right now, I'm the guy at the top of my team. I'm the best guy on my team. I'm carrying. That feels good. It feels good to be on top of the leaderboard. At the same time, look at Trip Malvo on the enemy team. 19 and 23. He went negative, but has 2,700 objective score. And that's what people don't realize about XDefiant. They'll see pro players like going on these, crazy kill streaks on Twitch and stuff like that. But the game is not about that. The game is about, in its current state at least, playing the objective. And you can do that whether you're good or bad. Look at this screenshot. This guy went 2 and 14, but has so much more objective score than anyone else on his team. He did way better. He is the better player in XDefiant. Despite being bad as far as kill death goes, he's better than that guy. That guy stayed at the back of the map with his sniper all match, just trying to level his gun. Didn't care about the objective. Didn't care that he lost. That guy, in my opinion, is a pretty shit player. Doesn't matter his stats. And guys, this is something I never saw back in the day. I started my channel doing Call of Duty 4 like tips and tricks videos, teaching people how to get better at the game because it was popular, and I noticed that a lot of people on the game were really bad, and I'm like, I should try to help people out. They're not that good. People wanted to get better back in the day before this SBMM fucking nonsense, this EOMM nonsense came around. They looked up guides on the internet. They worked on their aim. They tried to get better. Now you have these people that have had their hand held for the past 5 years whining, just whining, wah, on Twitter about not being good enough. I just want to shoot people. I don't want to face these sweats. Well, dude, if you don't want to face sweats, improve to the point where they're no longer sweats. Or better yet, back out. Nobody's forcing you to play it. Or better yet, have fun playing the objective. You can go 0 and 30 and still help your team out. Play on the enemy's weakness. If you're only having fun when you're, 20 and 15 because the game fed you these players based on an algorithm, you are garbage. You are worse than garbage. You are entitled garbage. Call of Duty has made the modern day player like pussies. I don't know what else to say. They don't want to improve at anything. And, this game, it's just pubs. It's not ranked. And they're still whining. They're still complaining. Like, it's the most pathetic thing I have ever seen. This is not how it was back in the day. I don't want to see anything Call of Duty as far as catering to the casuals is concerned coming to XDefiant. I don't. Now, you might be saying, like, all this gaslighting and stuff, you're really showing up the bad players, and I am, but I want you to look at this comment. This is a comment I got on my channel here. This guy says, "Hey BT, just wanted to share my experience so far as well as a bit of insight from a bit of a different perspective. I have late stage cancer, not a meme, and was convinced that it had seriously impacted my performance in games. I'd play COD every now and again and would find myself playing decently only to continuously lose over and over and over again. I've been playing FPS games since I could walk, starting with Unreal Tournament 2004 and continuing from there. I've always been good at FPS games, not the best, but I know my fundamentals well and can seriously say that I'd rock most people's shit. Every single time I'd sit down and play COD though, I just feel awful. It seriously felt like I'd gotten so sick that it compromised my skill level and it made me not want to play games anymore. Obviously there are more games than COD, but most of my friends play it and I like to play with them. Then XDefiant dropped. I thought, screw it, I'll pick it up and try it. Immediately, I could tell that it was different. It seriously feels like my level of play matters again, and it's making me hopeful that I'm not spiraling downwards due to my sickness. I can consistently drop above a 1.5 KDR while playing Anchor on Domination again, just like the old days, holding points just as well as gunning down enemies. It made me realize just how bad the industry has gotten and how detrimental it really is to the average Joe who wants to just sit down and have a good time. Thanks for keeping it real, brother. We'll be here watching until the end. Garrett, you are a fucking champion first and foremost, and I'm so glad that you are able to realize that Call of Duty, it's just gaslighting you. It's just gaslighting you. And an argument I see continually is like, think of the noobs, think of the casual players. They're getting beasted on. Oh, whatever will they do? I don't know, man. Back out and find a different lobby? I don't know. Actually hop on the fucking B flag because kills and deaths really don't matter. I don't care if I die in X Defiant. You know, like me personally, I play to win the game. But like that's the argument I see. Think of the players. Think of the players like this guy. Think of the players who maybe they're in their 40s or something and they think that their hand-eye coordination isn't what it used to be and they just can't compete anymore because they continually lose over and over in Call of Duty due to this gaslighting EOMM casino. And like, man, you can't fool people. Let's circle back to that Mark Twain quote. It's easier to fool people than it is to convince them they've been fooled. And that is what I want you to take away from this video. Guys, I'm out of time here. The Black Ops 6 trailer drops tomorrow. If you find yourself getting excited, I want you to take a step back and think about this video. Please, go watch my EOMM deep dive. I'll link that at the end of this video. Definitely worth checking out. It's like a 20-minute long thing. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one. Peace out.
Need some parting advice?